Alright, welcome back to the channel. If you're here for the first time, please like and subscribe. We sure appreciate you watching. Today I'm going to be going over my thoughts on the 6-speed transmission I just installed, and we'll do a first test drive on it and see how it shifts. I know from my son's car it shifts great. Let's give it a shot. Let's go ahead and get started. You can see I need to go get some fuel. I'm about out. This is my 6-speed shifter. This needs to go around it and snaps in there. I haven't put that on yet, but that'll be my next thing I do. So let's see how it shifts. Putting it in reverse right now. Everything seems to be working good. Feels normal. It's nice having that adjustable clutch rod in there, so if I need to adjust that in case I don't like the way the pedal feels, then I can do that. Got her in first gear. Let's see how she does. I'm going to head over to the gas station because I'm about out. There's second gear. Feels pretty good. One thing I do notice about the 6-speed transmission is that it doesn't seem to whine as much as my other transmission did. I mean, it had that where the gears made really loud, and it really was annoying to me. I hated that. So first gear again. Feels pretty good. Third gear. It's really simple to adjust these shifter cables too. If you need to make them shift a little better so there's no grinding when you put it in gear. But so far so good. It feels really good. And I lucked out. I mean, there is a way you can set these gears up before you go on a test drive. The main thing is if you get reverse in there just right, then usually the other gears will shift just fine. So now I'm back in first gear again. That was about 4,500 RPM. There's third gear or second gear. That was about 45 miles an hour. I'm still in third gear. I'm not going to shift it. I'm trying to wire the engine up. I have this auto meter, which is really awesome. If you don't have that in your car, man, that's a cool option. Alright, I want to go ahead and put some gas in this car. Alright, we got some gas. We're back on the road. Give this thing a shot and see how it does. In first gear right now. Takeoff is smooth. I really like this clutch setup that we have. 4,000 RPM at about 18 miles an hour. There's 5,000 RPM at about 46. So we're doing about 55 at about 3,500 in third gear. Fourth gear, about 2,500 at about 55 miles an hour. So I'm going to turn this thing 3 miles per hour. Got it on the auto meter. So I'm cruising about 2,400 RPM at about 53 miles an hour. 51 miles an hour. See over there. It's really nice and quiet. Shift it in fifth gear here. It's going to be kind of low. Fifth gear, you can see what my speed is and my RPM. So kind of bogging it a little bit, but I don't hear your transmission noise. It sounds good. This car has coilovers on it, so it's a little bit little bit rough riding, but so far so good. You see I've got it in 5th gear there. Seems to be running good. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, and we'll just use the camera that's facing in front of the car. Fourth gear, 3rd gear. I got the AC on, it's kind of warm. Keep it a little bit quieter in here while we're talking. One thing I can tell already is this should give me a lot better gas mileage. My RPMs are way down compared to where they were with that 5-speed transmission with the 4 or 5 gears in it. The top speed on that car, or with that transmission, was 160 miles an hour at 7,000 RPM in 5th gear. This transmission should have a lot higher speed. There's 4,500 RPM, 2nd gear, about 42 miles an hour. I'm running about 52 miles an hour at about 2,400 RPM. I'm going to shift it into 5th gear. Man, it's really shifted smooth and quiet. I love it. I could hardly wait to put this transmission in. I always wanted one when I put one in my son's car, and when I broke it, yeah, it was a good opportunity to put in this new 6-speed F40 transmission. I really like it. $53 miles an hour, 52 miles an hour at about 1,900 RPM. Pretty awesome. I don't even want to try it in 6th gear at this speed. I'll try it. Let's just see what it does. It's about 53 miles an hour. It's about 1,600 RPM. So this little 4-cylinder, that's pretty much bogging it down. We'll just see how it does in 6th gear. This car has a lot of upgrades on it. It has the ZZP, I think it's the FZR turbo. I could have that wrong, but it's their smaller turbo, the one that they put. It's Morgan & Warner. It's good. It's a good turbo. It spools up quick. Feels a lot like stock, but it has a lot more. It doesn't fall off like the stock one. You'd stop getting boost around 5,500 RPM. This thing will take it all the way to 7,000 or however high you want to go with your RPM. 50 miles an hour at about 1,500 RPM. I'm lugging this thing right now. I'm going to put it in 5th. So 50 at about, I'd say about 1,800 RPM right now. Gotta love that. Remember, after you replace this transmission, I replaced my tie rod ends, and I need to have this front end aligned. So that's my next thing, get this car aligned. But it seems to be driving pretty straight. Pretty surprised. You know, one thing about these cars, they're a lot of fun. If you've never owned one or thinking about purchasing one, man, they really do get up and go. I'll tell you how we got into these cars. My son, when he was in high school, I bought him a Cobalt SS supercharged model, and it was wrecked, and we paid $1,500 for it, and it was a 2007, and this was probably 2009 or 10, and so we didn't know anything about these cars really, and so it was crashed in the back. It was hit really hard, and so we had a friend of ours that was really good with body work, and we ended up cutting the car in half and buying another half, the back half of the car, and so we painted it black and silver because the back car part of the car was silver and the front was black. And now I'm downshifting. I'm going to get on it a little bit so you kind of hear what's going on here. I don't want to spin the tires, but there's 5,000 RPM. There we go. About 70. And about 3,000 RPM in fourth gear. So that's pretty good. So 54 miles an hour in fourth or fifth gear at 2,000 RPM. So anyway, back to the story. So we get the car fixed. I take it down to get it inspected. And the guy did such a great job on it that you couldn't even, he was wondering where the car was fixed. And you couldn't tell. And so anyway, we upgraded it. We put a smaller pulley on it, bigger injectors, and it was a good running little car. And then we heard about the turbo models. And so we bought one. It was wrecked, and we got it fixed. We bought it out of New York. And then the first thing we did to it was we had it tuned, and all we did was put a K&N filter in it. And man, that thing, we were shocked at how fast it was. A guy named Mike here in the valley tuned them, and he did a really nice job. They just really run really good. I've had so much fun with these cars. I mean, what's good about them is they're just as fast as a V8, but you get gas mileage like a 4-cylinder, which is awesome. Now remember, they came out the 2010 Camaro, and you know, a lot of things changed, more horsepower, but we have no problem beating those 2010 Camaros. Now the ZL1, for instance, now obviously they got 650 horsepower, so that's a little bit more difficult. But we could beat the ones that were a 2015 ZL1. Man, I'm really liking the way this thing is shifting, handling. I really love this 6-speed. I'd recommend it to anyone if you're thinking about doing it. I really like it. So that's basically my review on this 6-speed manual transmission. It downshifts really nice. It upshifts nice. Reverse works really well on it. The only thing I wish is that first gear and was a little bit taller of a gear, but it's a lot taller gear than my 4 or 5 gears that were in my 5-speed F35 transmission. Anyway, that's my review, and if you guys are here for the first time, hope you guys would like and subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing more videos. I'm also going to do a review on my car and give all the upgrades and everything we've done to this car. It has tons of upgrades on it, and it's really fun to drive. So that's a wrap for this video. I hope you guys like it, and I hope it was informative and answer some of your questions. If you have more questions, just write below in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Thank you for watching.